Fulton County Jail has made some upgrades more than a year after the Justice Department said it had to improve the conditions. Fulton County says the improvements include replacing major systems within the jail like fire alarms, kitchen equipment, and laundry equipment, updates to 11 resident detainee housing units, and reduced jail work order backlog by 36%. The DOJ demanded the consent decree after discovering subpar living conditions in the jail. It requires jail officials to comply with several orders, including developing plans and policies to keep inmates safe from violence, improving supervision and staffing, and taking steps to protect incarcerated people at risk of suicide and to afford inmates adequate medical and mental health care. State lawmakers are divided on a multi-million-dollar proposal for a new mental health hospital. The Georgia Senate approved a plan for a $409 million plan for a 300-bed forensic hospital. The House still has to approve it before it goes to Governor Brian Kemp. Law enforcement agencies like Atlanta Police are for the facility, saying that some people need treatment and not a jail, but opponents worry the hospital could turn into another jail.
We do not continue to build to further institutionalize. We need to come to some type of agreement on how to prevent people to get to that point.
We have limited places we can take individuals in a mental health crisis.
State lawmakers say they are considering putting the facility in Atlanta or Augusta because of medical staffing requirements. Construction would take 2 to 3 years once approved.